Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive? Today we're going someplace a little unexpected.
Oh,
Yeah, we're diving into the world of pest control, specifically in Pakistan.
interesting. What kind of sources are we looking at?
So we've got some fascinating information from Clean Sweep Pest Control. They're a
Okay.
company operating in Pakistan, and they're dealing with some pretty intense pest problems in major cities like Islamabad and Rawalpindi.
Wow. Big cities, huh? I wouldn't think those would be hotbeds for pests.
Right. You'd think they'd have that under control, but it's actually getting worse.
Hmm. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, and it's not just your typical cockroach situation. We're talking about
Something more serious.
way more serious, like termites.
Termites. Those tiny things that eat wood. What are they doing in a big city?
Well, it turns out these silent destroyers are becoming a huge issue in newer buildings, especially in those rapidly developing urban areas.
Huh. That's surprising. I always thought pests were more of a problem in older structures.
Me too. But it seems like the way these new buildings are constructed is actually attracting termites.
Really? How so?
A lot of it has to do with the concrete they're using. It traps moisture inside, which creates the perfect environment for termites to thrive.
Ah, so these tiny creatures are literally eating away at the foundations of these cities.
Pretty much. And it's not just a minor inconvenience, it can
Hmm.
cause some serious damage.
Like what?
Well, imagine you're living in Rawalpindi in your beautiful new home, and one day you realize your entire wooden staircase has been hollowed out by termites.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a safety hazard. Plus, the financial implications of fixing that kind of damage are significant.
Yikes, I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah, and it often goes unnoticed until it's too late.
So how do they even get in there in the first place? I mean, these are new buildings, right?
Right, but the problem is the construction boom in these cities often leads to, well, shortcuts.
Makes sense.
Things like proper wood treatment during construction get overlooked, which leaves the buildings vulnerable to termites.
Wow, so they're basically setting themselves up for a termite infestation.
It seems that way, and it gets worse because it's not just termites they're dealing with.
There's more.
Yeah, the source also talks about a growing rat problem.
Rats. Ugh, that's just as bad, if not worse.
Oh, absolutely, and just like with the termites, it seems to be linked to rapid urbanization.
But how? I mean, rats have always been a problem in cities. Ugh.
True, but things like poor waste management and overflowing landfills just create the ideal breeding ground for rat populations to explode.
Makes sense. More food, more places to hide, more rats.
Exactly. Plus, there's the risk of diseases they can carry, which is a serious public health concern.
So you're saying it's not enough to just improve waste management. You need a more comprehensive approach.
That's what it seems like, and that's where this company, Clean Sweep Pest Control, comes in.
I was wondering when we were going to get back to them.
Right, so they offer all sorts of services, from termite proofing for new construction to treatments for existing infestations.
What about those people who already have termites?
They use a technique called termite baiting, which is supposed to be really effective. It targets the entire colony, not just the ones you see on the surface.
That sounds smart.
Yeah, they also do advanced spray treatments and wood spray to protect furniture.
So they've got it all covered then?
Pretty much, and here's the interesting part. They really emphasize the use of advanced technology and eco-friendly methods.
Oh, that's good. I was going to ask about that.
Right. You don't want to solve one problem just to create another.
Absolutely. It's great they're being mindful of the environment.
Okay, so we've talked about the pests and the solutions, but what does all this mean for, well, for anyone listening, really?
That's a good question.
Right. I mean, what's the takeaway here?
I think it's a reminder that even in the middle of these big, bustling cities, nature always finds a way.
Yeah, nature always wins, right?
Exactly. And understanding that, understanding the factors that contribute to these infestations is key to both preventing them and dealing with them effectively.
Absolutely. And while professional help is often necessary, just being aware of the problem and taking some basic preventative measures can go a long way.
I agree. Knowledge is power.
It really is, and it makes you wonder, right? I mean, knowing that urbanization plays such a big role in these pest problems, what can cities do differently?
What do you mean?
Like, what steps can they take to create a more sustainable, more resilient future?
A future where both people and nature can thrive. Now that's a question worth pondering.
Isn't it?
It is. And it's one we all need to think about.
Absolutely. All right, well, on that note, we'll leave you with that thought.
Until next time.
See you then.